Hey, um, slightly different setting this time, and also I don't have my nice mic hooked up, so I'm hoping the audio isn't too terrible with this, but we'll see. I'll probably wait to post this until tomorrow, but it is St. Patrick's Day, Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. Um, and I don't know, I guess I've just been thinking a lot and haven't updated in a few days, so I thought I would film something to kind of talk about the things I've been thinking about as far as like health and getting healthy and some of the struggles with that. um, I think part of I started kind of thinking about some of this actually while I was working this week because I know that I've talked before about how um, like how easy it is to make poor choices when I'm at work as far as like what I'm eating. Um, and to be perfectly clear, I'm not like going on a big diet. I'm not like heavily restricting what I'm eating. Mostly what I'm doing is just trying to make in general better choices when as I'm like making my food decisions. Um so like I'm trying to not drink soda as much. Um, my goal is to like only have it once in a while as like a treat. I'm kind of trying to do that as well with like eating out because I know I have trouble with like portion control and that sort of thing when I order food or go out to eat. So I'm trying to make that more of like only every once in a while or something that I do as like a treat rather than something that I do multiple times a week because the other part is because I work long hours, I sometimes at the end of the day just want to order food in, or pick up something on my way home, and then I don't make good decisions with the kinds of food that I choose anyway. But I was thinking, so for context, we stopped while I was um, while I was at work. We stopped really quick to just pick up food before we made our next stop. Um, and we stopped. Usually, what happens is we'll stop at like a gas station. If we have a moment to stop in the middle of the day or somewhere along the way, we'll usually stop at like a gas station, so most likely a quick trip, or we'll stop at like a Culver's or fast food place. Now, some of these places, like for context, I used to be paleo way back in the day. I say way back in the day, like 5 years ago. Um, I no longer am just because it did bad things to my brain worms. It really messed with my perception of food and um, led to me gaining more weight in the long run. Um, but anyway, the one thing that I do that was beneficial from that is like at a lot of different more like popular restaurants that I would go to with friends and that sort of thing. I knew things that I could order while I was out with them. Um, so at a lot of places, like I know what I can order off of menus or that they'll have healthier options. But the place we stopped, like it was a place that I thought would have healthier options, but like when I was looking at the menu, I didn't offhand see the healthy options right away. And I know that some places like the menu varies from place to place. Um, but like there was also a line and stuff, so I felt kind of pressure to like make a decision really fast. And so like I chose something that probably wasn't the like healthiest option. And I got like a meal, so I got a drink with it. And there are a couple places around where like they'll have soda, but then they'll also have like sweetened or unsweetened iced tea right next to the soda machine. So I was like, this is fine. I'll just get some iced tea. And I turn around and they're like the iced tea machine, like there wasn't one. And I thought that there was one because I had seen we'd gone to a similar place before. And at least in my memory, I thought that they had had an iced tea machine. And like I know that iced tea is not necessarily like always better. It like isn't necessarily like a great option, but it's kind of like doing things in degrees. So if it's like marginally better than soda, then it's like okay, we'll do this in degrees. Um, so it's like it was frustrating because it's like okay, now like I understand that like fast food is more meant for convenience than for like adapting to a lot of dietary needs. But it kind of made me think about like the struggles of it did make me think about the struggles of different dietary needs depending on where you go. And like, sorry, I have a lot of thoughts and I'm trying to like get them all together in my head. Um, I used to live in a big city, and in that big city, there were a lot of options for like different health conscious needs. So, so like I had a few friends that were like vegan, and I had some friends with like specific like food intolerances. And it actually wasn't that difficult to find places that catered to those food needs. In fact, there were certain places that catered very specifically to like vegan diets or food allergy places or food sensitivity needs. It seemed like while, maybe you needed to search for them sometimes, or maybe you just needed to know to ask, there were a lot of very easily accessible options around for that. Um, and where I live now, it kind of feels like not only are there not as many like easily accessible options for that sort of thing. And for the record, I'm not vegan and I don't have any like overt food allergies, as in like there's nothing that's gonna like send me into anaphylactic shock. I have some mild allergies, but nothing that like will kill me. um, but it just seems like not only is it kind of difficult to find places that may cater to different dietary needs, as far as like, you know, if someone happens to be vegetarian or vegan, or if someone does tend to be paleo or have certain allergies, all that kind of stuff. Um, but additionally, it just seems like it's really hard to eat healthy in different areas. And I'd watched a video, it was actually, I think it was actually a Cinnamon Toast Ken video, um, when they were talking about like my 600-pound life and that sort of thing. Yeah, because they were talking about like how difficult it can actually be to eat, like how difficult it can be to eat healthy in America specifically. And I don't know how specific that is to America, but I know like at least for me, you look around and for every like healthy option, there are probably at least half a dozen unhealthy options. Um, just down the road from me, it's like, yes, you have a Panera, which 50-50 whether or not that's healthier than like other fast food joints. But you also have like McDonald's, Freddy's Custard, you have Culver's, you have, you know, all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, there's also like a Chick-fil-A down the road where like you can get grilled nuggets and fruit and or a salad rather than like, fried chicken and mac and cheese and a cookie or whatever. I forget what their dessert thing is. I think they do like yogurt parfaits or something as well. I have not eaten Chick-fil-A in so long, which is a shame because I like their sauce. But anyway, um, um, but it seems like if you're wanting to eat healthy on the go, like if you're wanting to eat healthy in a job where you need to like where you get fast food or you stop certain places, the cards are kind of stacked. Like the deck is stacked against you. Um, and not to say that it's impossible and not to like make excuses for myself, but it does kind of feel like you have to go looking much more in order to find those healthy options. And it makes me kind of think of like, this is gonna sound so weird to say, but it's like, I understand that like we want convenience, but there's gotta be a line between, you know, convenience and health. I mean, I don't know. And I know that like the best solution would be for me to start doing meal prep, and maybe that's something that I'll have to look into of like, going into my work week, doing a few days worth of meals, of lunches just like ahead of time. That's the other part though, is that I don't always get a lunch break, but if I know that I'm going to have the opportunity, to bring something that's a healthier option, because it feels like, at least in this area, like we've built so much off of like comfort foods. And that's the other part that is really tough for me now that I'm like actively trying to make those decisions to eat healthier, is that I'm finding out that comfort foods are they really are like a comfort reflex. I'm sorry that you heard that. If you heard that ding and that buzz, that somebody messaged me on Discord. Um, um, but it really is like it's a comfort reflex. Um, Stop. Shush. I'm gonna switch that over to do not disturb. Gosh dang it. There we are. Switching to do not disturb. um, Dang it, I lost my train of thought. Oh, comfort food. Um, I had started watching, and I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of the Fit to Fat to Fit. And I was just watching it as something to watch while I was doing my calligraphy, and I have mixed feelings about the show, but the one thing that like it just kind of stuck in my mind was there was an episode where this guy, he was talking about like having that it's a relationship with the food. Like you can't uh, I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, but he said something about like you have to like just eating food and not enjoying it doesn't make sense. Like the world would not be fair if that was the case. And it does kind of put things in a weird perspective of like, I know a lot of cultures have a certain like relationship with food, but when you're raised on this relationship with food where it's like it kind of feels like as Americans, we're raised on this culture of like people feed you to make you feel better, and then as you get older, you reach for food to make you feel better. So it's like I even remember, it's like growing up and like you're sad and your grandma's just like, oh, have some pie, oh, have a piece of chocolate, and they like want to comfort you with food, and that's not necessarily that, like, I don't want to say like that's necessarily a bad thing, but it just like it feels as an adult, then it feels kind of like I've built, and I'm speaking from personal experience, so I'm not like trying to say anything negative about anybody else, but it like I almost feel like that's now ingrained into me of like any time that I'm stressed, I immediately want to go for specific foods, and it's always the foods that are unhealthy, which feels kind of sad. Like it makes me kind of sad when I think about it because it's like, well, why can't I find comfort in other things then? You know? Um, and I think that that's something that I'm gonna have to like work through as I kind of go on this journey of trying to get healthier and trying to like build a more standard health journey. Um, because it's like, yes, on the one hand, I'm going to be working out more. On the one hand, I'm going to just try to be more active. And that's going to be a huge part of my, getting healthy. Um, but the other part is like just making better decisions in what I eat. And again, I'm not saying that I'm never going to have junk food. I'm never going to, eat McDonald's or Culver's ever again, which to be fair, I don't eat McDonald's much now. But, it's like I'm never going to eat Culver's again. I'm never going to have ice cream again. I'm never going to drink soda again. No, that like I don't want to cut things out of my life entirely that I enjoy. And I don't think, kind of going back to that conversation before, like, I don't think any food is inherently good or bad. I think it's learning to enjoy things in moderation. I think it's learning to allow yourself a certain level of discipline. Because I think allowing yourself, this is going to sound weird the way that I'm going to say it, but like allowing yourself to say no to yourself sometimes can be really healthy, because if all you do is indulge, that knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, I'm stressed, I'm gonna eat, mac and cheese. Oh, I'm stressed, I'm gonna reach for that chocolate bar. I'm stressed, I'm gonna reach for that junk food. I'm gonna, like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to cook, so I'm just gonna stop at, the fast food place on the way home and get, you know fried chicken strips or a burger and fries and soda and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, that's not necessarily the best choice. And choosing to put that discipline into your life, sorry, I'm trying, my brain is moving faster than my I think my brain is going very fast right now. Um, Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm basically going to try and be a little bit more disciplined in what I eat, but that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to enjoy things once in a while. And that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have junk food sometimes. Um, because I know from experience that when I just wholesale cut things out of my diet, um, the first time that I then have those things, I kind of snap and I feel guilty and it makes things worse. Um, and for reference, when I'm saying like you need to let yourself have discipline and all that stuff, I'm referring to myself. It's the general you, um, not like the watcher you. Um, yeah, just in general, I'm trying to get better in increments because I think that will be more sustainable. But a lot of this is just kind of making me think about like my own perspectives on food and my own relationship with food and like why I failed in the past to get healthy and how I'm gonna fix that now. Um, and it's just making me think a lot. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching. Um, if you want to go over to my Instagram, you can see the stairs that I regularly climb. That's not a metaphor for improvement. That's quite literally me running up and down stairs. Um, but if you want to see that, you can go over to my Instagram. It's just Dead Girl Deadlifts, all one word, lowercase. Um, but yeah, I'm. I feel like maybe I'm stalling out because I'm thinking too much, but I also feel like I'm addressing a lot mentally with my own relationship with my health. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot of processing. So, anyway, um yeah, halfway through, I think week 2, working towards week 3. I think I started at the end of February. Let me pull up here. I'm sorry, you can see the reflection from my phone here. You can see my fantastic double chin. Um, yeah, February 28th was when I posted my first one. So yeah, halfway through week 2, heading towards week 3. I'm gonna keep doing weigh-ins on Wednesdays, I think, just because it's another way to kind of help keep myself accountable. Yeah. Anyway, um, I hope if I do upload this tonight and y'all see it on St. Patty's Day, um, be safe, be mindful of pedestrians, have a designated driver. If you see this after St. Patrick's Day, make sure you stay hydrated. Um, and a little bit of caffeine, a little bit of aspirin, and a whole lot of water. All right. Take care of yourselves. Bye.